Hello, welcome to Brocco Lane. This week I'd like to ask you all a question. What sort of new models do we actually want in ready-to-run form from the manufacturers? Hornby, Bachmann, DJ models, Helgen, Dapol, and any others that we can think of. Have most of the locomotives we want been produced yet? Is there anything left to do? So I thought I'd look at a few suggestions. There's still a lot out there that still hasn't come out, which has been promised for quite a while now. In particular, there's the Bachmann 94XX, which still hasn't appeared yet. But it's that time of year when they're going to start announcing new products. So I thought we'd have a look through region by region, what locomotives aren't available and what I think maybe should be done. And of course you're very welcome to comment at the bottom of the page there of what you'd like to see. I'm going to start with LNER. So we'll look at a few of those locomotives first. I'll do LNER on the first one, LMS, Great Western, Southern, and then I'll probably do diesels as well. Although this is based mainly around 00, of course people can comment and put below what they want in N gauge or O gauge or anything else. So let's have a look at what I think would make nice models from the LNER Eastern region to begin with. So I would say that the LNER or Eastern region steam locomotive pretty well catered for. It's probably the sexiest of the big four companies due to Mallard and Flying Scotsman, etc. And in some cases there's duplicate models available. And one interesting announcement has been from Dapol. They're introducing a new range of higher spec models called I think they're called Black Label. And the first announcement is of course a A4. As pictured here, Mallard. They're going to have improved details like die-cast bodies, more sophisticated sound systems, real coal in the tender, all sorts of fancy things. They're promising. Whether they'll all be successful, we'll have to wait and see. It's going to have to be a lot better than the Hornby one, because I think the Hornby one's pretty good at the moment. But we'll wait and see. That's an interesting one to come. Hornby's Holden B12 can't be very far away, as these shots look pretty much like the finished example. It's an interesting model to be presenting. That's hopefully coming out later this year or maybe early next year. So here's my first suggestion of what I think one of the manufacturers should be doing next. This is Gresley's Hush Hush W1. Now in fact there was only one locomotive and it was like a prototype. The upper image is how it was originally and the lower image is how it was rebuilt later on. As you can see, the lower one, it was given an A4's front, which I think would be very popular with modelers, as A4s are obviously very popular to support at least 3 ready-to-run ones. The top version, the original version, it had very odd curved boiler cladding and almost like was it P2 front on it originally. It was quite a let's say ugly engine, but interesting nevertheless. So I think this has got to be one of the next models that come from, and I'd take a guess at it being Hornby that would tackle this one. Now the P2 is already done by Hornby, of course, in railroad and the normal range. But what they haven't done is when they were rebuilt with A4 fronts. Now they're probably planning them already, but if they're not, then I think they should do, because they're rather attractive with the streamlined nose. And who knows, they may even be a bigger seller than the original version they've released. Now here's a complicated class, the A2. but not the Peppercorn A2, which is done by Bachmann. The Thompson A2, of which there was at least 3 versions. Some were ordered as V2s and were rebuilt into A2s, but they had very different details to the Bachmann produced one. There was some that were actually rebuilt from Gresley's locomotive we've previously seen, the P2s, and then there was a different batch again. This one looks very similar to the Bachmann version which is available, but you'll notice one big difference is that the cylinders are further back, whereas the Bachmann versions are more here. Yeah, subtle differences, but it is certainly a locomotive which there's no models available apart from kits, and there's at least 3 versions that could be modelled. And here's one I'd love to see, which are B17s, which have been rebuilt with streamlining on like the A4s. They also almost look like mini-me versions of an A4. I think they'd be really good in model form. I think they'd sell well. They're a little stubby looking, but I think they're really interesting prototypes and would sell really well. Gresley's P1 was another one-off, but not an attractive engine. There's a case for one of these. I don't know how many people would buy it, but it's a nice engine. It looks very similar to the Romney Hythe and Dymchurch locomotives on the old 15-inch gauge. So that's a possibility, although it was scrapped fairly early on, I think. And finally, the K4. This one's the Great Marquess, which is a very famous preserved steam engine at the moment, which runs on the Jacobite steam special in Scotland every year. I think it's a lovely little engine, and I think this would be a really popular choice for a new ready-to-run model. Okay, that's my last one. Please put suggestions below what you'd like to see in this section from LNER, but any area you like. And you never know, somebody from Hornby, Bachmann, DJ, Dapol might just stumble across it and think, that's a good idea. So I think next time I'll do LMS, and see you next time. Thanks for watching.